The alternate universe. The bizarro world. The Twilight Zone. When it comes to football, they are all quite real, if only in the mind of Dave Dameshek. This is not the NFL. This is the NFL.
That's right, it's time for another edition of the NFL. Let's head back to January 2002, a snowy night in Foxborough, Massachusetts, for the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots in the divisional round matchup, or as it's more commonly known these days, the Tuck Rule game. We now know that Tom Brady and Adam Vinatieri, a guy in an Emperor Palpatine hoodie, and the rest of them won the game and started an NFL dynasty, aided, of course, a little bit by modern technology. But what if the refs hadn't made that infamous call? Well, the Raiders would have ended up heading to Heinz Field to play the Steelers in the AFC title game. Black and gold versus silver and black. A glorious renewal of a classic postseason rivalry. Move over, Mean Joe and Otis Sistrunk. Step aside, Bradshaw and Snake. It's Cordell versus Gannon for a trip to the Super Bowl. All right, that's not exactly a QB showdown for the ages, but it's still better than the Patriots in those ugly silver and blue uniforms instead of the far superior Pat Patriot getups. Anywho, let's assume the Steelers come out flat against Oakland, just like they did against the Patriots, just like all Bill Cowher coach teams did in his reign with the Steelers. This means Al Davis's fellas get to New Orleans to face the St. Louis Rams. Now, considering the Raiders and Rams both spend time in Los Angeles, the two teams' respective SoCal fan bases would have waged war under the palm trees. Bad religion would have gotten their wish, because no matter who won the game, L.A. would have burned. It would have been like the first minute of Omega Man with Chuck Heston driving around the empty streets of downtown L.A. By the way, the Rams would have won, giving Kurt Warner his second ring and a guaranteed bust in Canton. Even with the loss, John Gruden would have been in better standing with Al Davis, so he'd have stayed in Oakland instead of getting traded away to the Buccaneers. And without Gruden, Tampa Bay wouldn't have been able to get to the Super Bowl the following year to beat the Raiders. Why? Because Gruden wouldn't have been on their sideline, he'd have been on the Raiders' sideline. The Patriots, meantime, never break through. Drew Bledsoe resumes his spot as New England's starting quarterback the following season. Tom Brady doesn't become a legend and doesn't marry Giselle, who instead gets hitched to the game's best QB and becomes Giselle Manning. Then again, maybe we go back 2 more years to the 99 NFC title game to make the right call on the catch by Tampa Bay's Burt Emanuel against the Rams. In that case, QB Sean King and the great Bucks D go to the Super Bowl, beat the Titans, giving the world Mrs. Giselle King. Or maybe she just gets hung up on a certain fellow's rugged good looks, boyish charm, and sultry voice and becomes Giselle Dameshek. Done and done.
This is the NFL.